Alright, response video to a couple of videos, I guess. Shouldn't bother with this nonsense, but it's just so irritating. So anyway, Broken Mech, the asshole, the weak-wristed fuckwit, makes a video called Antinatalist Weak Sauce. And this is a guy who selectively deletes his videos. And he's accusing somebody else of blocking him. So, I mean, you know, and somehow that's an unfairness to him. Because they stopped him from making inane and stupid comments perpetually on a video. Like, there's some point in arguing with you. There's no point in arguing with you. You're just worthy of ridicule. And I mean, if I could puke through my computer, you know, and have it splash in your face, that's what you're worthy of. That's what you deserve. To be alien puked. You're a fucking jackass. But anyway, yeah, I wouldn't tolerate you wasting my time like this on inane rubbish. So let's start off with this premise. I mean, the first comment is crap, and they only get crappier as they go along. Democracy does not give the majority the right to oppress the minority. Well, fails right there, asshole. Of course it does. It's the very nature of it. Okay, you have an argument, and then you have a fucking vote. And guess what? If you didn't make a convincing argument, you lose the vote. That's the way it works out. But it's that whole thing, you know, it's democracy fails, but what's your alternative solution, asshole? That you dictate and tell us what's right and wrong? I don't mind being dictator, okay, because I know I'm an honest guy, so it'll work out okay. But you're not an honest guy. You're a little weaselly manipulating bullshitter, okay, because I know there's nothing inside of you saying this is a rational argument you're making. All right, this whole you have conceded the facts, and all you're now arguing for is some kind of preposterous notion that retards should be allowed to build nuclear power plants in their backyard. I mean, you know, you're the one that uses this reductionism to absurdity bullshit, like somehow we don't have a right to stop idiots from doing idiotic things. Oh, bullshit. Yeah, so when the majority decides, oh yeah, you know what, these stupid birthers are a big fat burden. They just keep creating a liability, keep making a mess, and we got to keep cleaning up forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. I mean, fuck them. Anyway, the majority may decide to outlaw homosexuality or abortion. Well, again, do either one of those things have anything to do with an imposition on somebody else? No, so that's just bullshit. But that is an abuse of democracy. How can you have an abuse of democracy when you did it in a democratic process? I mean, that's just bullshit. All right? It might be an abuse of some sort of ethical principle you could articulate that should found your democracy. Like the democracy should have no power over you know, laws of individual right. And so you define those on a separate constitution. And then the Supreme Court decides when the democracy is trespassing. But that's not what you said in this stupid, idiotic post. So right here, this post is just so ignorant and requires so much tutorialian. Okay, I mean, who wants to waste their time tutoring you on civics? You obviously don't understand politics and civics. You need whole instruction on that subject. So this is just ignorant drivel, and now somebody's got to deal with your ignorant drivel. I mean, I'd block you. But this is abuse in people's individual rights and freedoms. Well, again, is it somebody's individual right to impose, to roll dice with somebody else's welfare? All right, this is a unique circumstance, no doubt. Being alive is unique, and the whole plethora of dilemmas that arise out of that circumstance is just a fact of our existence. The fact is that we can create living things, that we can play God. It's within our biological means. Now, do we have a right to do it? Do we have a right to pull straws? All right, there's the analogy. Do you have a right to pull straws for somebody else? Without their permission, you pull the straw, and then you hand them the short straw and say, tough luck, fucker. And you think that's something we don't have a right to say, no, you can't fucking do that. So until you know which straw you're going to pull, and you know it's going to be a good straw, you got no business pulling for somebody else. Pull for yourself. Sentence yourself to live your mediocrity over and over and over again. Pre-program human beings to be as dumb as you. All right? then you could, in some way, perhaps justify your retarded game. But I would still say, from my intelligent perspective, why would I sanction a retardadome? Why would I sanction a world where retarded humans just sat around all day banging their head against a wall and eating their own shit? Would I say there would be some reason in continuing that world, perpetuating it one more fucking goddamn day? You answer the question for me. Would you want, if we went to Mars and that's what you found on Mars, human beings just going like this, banging their head against a wall and eating their own fucking shit and going, happy, 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 happy. You just leave it? Huh? I don't hear your answer. Oh, that's right, I won't get one. So anyway, so I'll continue here. Alright, so Jay basically said, you know, yeah, not everybody's going to be persuaded, not at first, and maybe not even till at the end. So anyway, and so he quotes that, I agree that not everyone will be persuaded. And this is where the anti-natalist should just leave it. Well, again, what fucking point would there be? What point would it be for me to say, well, not every man is going to resist his desire to use another woman for sex without her permission. Not every man is going to understand the concept of consent. So I should just let them rape. Yeah, I'll just mind my own business, let them rape. Not every person who drinks is going to understand the irresponsibility of, you know, driving a car while inebriated, by, you know, assigning that extra risk to some little family driving home from grandma's house. Does that mean I should just sit back and say, well, too bad, tough shit, they don't understand? No, asshole, it's quite obvious that you take action because there is a harm being perpetrated, dumbass. You've conceded the reasonableness of the perception of the harm. So now you have to accept that, yes, people could reasonably act on that perception. Ugh. And so, yeah, I can see why this get, you know, he gets pissed off here, because then he starts using this stupid analogy. This is the lesser of evil dilemma. See, now why is it a dilemma? Why is the lesser of evil ever a dilemma? Okay, it might be nasty as fucking shit, but it's not a dilemma. It's not unresolvable. Alright, and I'll explain the resolution to you. If you believe you could prevent terrible act of biological terrorism that would inflict mass suffering onto an entire city of millions by torturing 1,000 children to death, school children. I don't know why they had to be in school, but whatever. I mean, school is already torture enough, don't you think? Would it be a moral right to do so? This is analogous to the dilemma you are proposing. Well, I don't think it's analogous in the first place, right? So it's kind of insulting and idiotic. Torture, you can't have a kid. Oh my God, I just stuck a knife in your head. And you know, I left it there for 10 years. And I twisted it every day for 10 years. Yeah, just insidious. Yeah, horrible. Anyway, but even if it was true, right? Now, my argument to you would be, well, quite obviously, if this is a certainty, if this is all certain, okay, no doubt about it, well, the logic is obvious. Yeah, you can stop millions from incurring the same pain by paying $1,000 today. So you pay $1,000 today to save $1 million tomorrow. So you can invest $1,000 today, and tomorrow you get $1 million back. Yeah, the logic is kind of inescapable, isn't it? Oh yeah, it is. The problem with this is it's not about dollars, okay? And it is about something's welfare. And the whole fact that we could possibly even be in that circumstance makes life fail, doesn't it? I would argue that as soon as we go down this road of assigning who's going to be the victim, you know, like the Taliban decided to create some collateral damage over here. They decided to make soldiers out of some regular citizens and collateralize them, you know, out of their building. And then what was our response? Oh, that's right, we did the same thing back. And who did we collateralize? Oh yeah, the janitor in the building. We said, well, janitors aren't important enough. We'll blow them up. The guy living next door, well, you know, too bad, fella, you should have lived somewhere else. Okay, cars, we blew up bridges. As the cars are just driving over the bridge. Maybe driving to grandma's house with the 3 kids, and we blew them the fuck up. We collateralized them. Okay, we said they're not worth it. Okay, our bridge being blown up is more important than they are. And maybe by some equation, yes, because we've saved American soldiers. But the very fact that we even have to make such calculations is part of the reason why life fails so fucking dismally. Is the very fact that there is so much suffering on this shithole to be dispensed is the very reason this thing sucks. The very fact that we could commoditize this, that there is enough of it to exchange all over the fucking place, is why this place fails. And that's why it needs to be stopped. Shithead. But yeah, that would be enough reason right there. Just even having to make that decision or that judgment. I would say by principle, you don't torture anybody. You don't deliberately impose suffering. Even if it's going to prevent more tomorrow, you don't deliberately impose it if you can, because it's a violation. It's just too fucking ugly a circumstance. Alright? If that's going to be... But in exchange for the fact that you end it forever, it's finally the last war. Okay? If that's the contract you're finally signing, it's the last fucking compromise. The last fucking idiotic circumstance. The last impossibly fail circumstance. The last girl under truck on fire, burning to death circumstance. No more. It's all going to fucking end. Well, in exchange for that, I'll exchange the principle. Alright. So anyway, yeah, but again, it's just about this whole idea of you comment trashers expecting somebody to waste their time doing this, personally tutoring you on all range of subjects to get you up to speed, and to correct your distortions and your perversions, like comparing torture to the idea of not having children, as if it's a torture, like you're invading somebody to do that. No, you're not. And the whole idea that the right to create life, this unique biological circumstance, is somehow sacrosanct, right? Like somehow it was God-given. No, it was a DNA molecule that gave it to you. And it didn't require you to get a license. Alright? And we should require people to have a license to create life. So anyway, enough of this bullshit. What a fucking turd. I mean, to complain about somebody else's web etiquette when he deletes videos, comments and all, routinely. It's just such bullshit. What a fucking goddamn shameless asshole to call somebody else coward when he plays those kind of games. Alright, so then the other funny video. Dana Garrett, right, who's been ragging in comments for months and months, who I've been just dying for him to make an anti-natalism video. And so what does he make? He makes this trite little piece of turd video, 1 minute 21 seconds long, and basically spends the whole video complaining about his toothache to come up with this brilliant posy at the end. So we'll play the end.
I wish I never had been born. How is that possible, anti-natal, that I can have such a view?
Okay, so he's saying he has this little bit of suffering because he had some oral surgery, but he still loves his life, and he doesn't wish he was never born. And so how is that possible? And again, I could find you right now a retard, who'll say, life good, 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 and he's eating, I don't know, grass and dog shit. You can find people who will accept any kind of horrific circumstance. There was no doubt slaves who said, this ain't so bad. The guy calls me by names, and I gotta work every day, but it ain't so bad. There'd be some people who will accept any kind of shit. And so the question is as dumb as asking somebody, well, I can eat living on, I don't know, name something, right? Some particular food. Let's just say milk. You could live drinking milk, and that's the only food you ate, just milk. And somebody else could be lactose intolerant, and they can't do that. And you're going to say to them, well, I can do it. So if I can do it, why can't you do it? Ha 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 ha. I mean, why should my standards be your standards in the first place? And rationally, I mean logically, where would you draw the line, Dana? Like I said, if life was to be so radically diminished, no books, no luxuries, no any of this crap, and it finally got to a point where you said, oh man, is this really worth it, people? Then there'd always be some asshole who would do exactly what you just did. Well, sure it is. How come I mean, I could take 7 toothaches a day. And then there'd be another guy who'll take 8 toothaches a day. And be another guy who'll take 9 toothaches a day. You'll keep going lower and lower and lower. And we know that's what the human race will do. Human beings actually lived in a world where they had major surgery without anesthesia. I mean, think about that for a minute. They tied people down, took a knife, cut them open, and ripped big giant tumors out of them. I mean, they did it. They accepted that. They accepted that as, oh yeah, that's how you live. That's right, yeah. Every now and then somebody has to tie you down and we, gut you like a pig and cut something out. Yeah, that's how they lived, you fucking retards. They got like a limb amputated in the war. And they put mud on it. Yeah, that was what you got. You got mud. No aspirin, no... Demerol, no blah blah blah, whatever down the list of all the stuff. No. You got a mud pack, and that was okay. That's how you live. That was acceptable standard of life is great. Yeah, cool. I mean, the fact that you people are caught in a sick, disgusting, addictive delusion is the argument here. That the only reason why this crap has any value, you're still chasing. Don't you understand, Dana? Don't you understand the concept of hunger? And that it's hunger that drives you. Like when I was addicted to sports, I mean, I was never a sports fanatic, but I watched it, okay? And yeah, I was addicted in the sense that I needed to see it. I needed to watch it. I needed to know, well, he hit a home run. And it was important to me. And I would have jumped over some hurdles to get to it. It was that important. I would have sacrificed other things to have it because it was important to me. I was hungry for it. Now that I've saw it for what it is and said, oh God, what an asshole I was. I mean, there's no way. If I had to watch it, it would make me sick. It's revolting. All right? So that's the difference. People are through understanding, they can gain appreciation. And they become intolerant of something disgusting and stupid and ignorant and dumb. Those things become revolting to intelligence. And that's the nature of intelligence. That's the liability of it. You could even go back to the Adam and Eve and Christian religion and the metaphor of the tree of knowledge. Because that's sort of the liability of knowledge. Okay? Is that it's going to fuck you up. All right? I mean, it is. The smarter you get, the harder it's going to be to tolerate any of the crap and the shit and the inefficiency. You start to see all the friction. You see the heat. You see the melting. You see the shit of it. And you say, this is not acceptable. And intelligence allows you to say those words. The stupid can't say them. Because they're addicted. Deal with that term. Google it, Wikipedia it or something. Addiction, all right? Contrived attraction, necessity, need, dependency, built on nothing for its intrinsic value, but because you have a disorder of the psychology that compels you. And that's what's driving you. You still think you have something to accomplish. Therefore, you will endure having a few teeth knocked out of your head. And maybe you'll endure having brain cancer and having a few surgeries. Maybe you'll endure some chemotherapy eventually. Maybe you'll endure lots of crazy motherfucking shit because you think you have something to accomplish. Because you can't let it go. Alright? But other people would say, that's fucking insane. They wouldn't want to be you. They wouldn't want to have your psychology. Just like they wouldn't want to be a Martian banging his head against a wall eating their own shit. And just because of the nature of this game, again, it comes back to the nature of this game. It's all or nothing. So it's back to the metaphor of there's 4 people, and there's this decision of what to do. And most of the things you're going to do are going to mean one of the 4 is going to die horribly and miserably. And the only thing that won't cause one of them to die horribly and miserably is just to sit down and maybe talk. Okay, or whatever it is. You have to just kind of narrow the focus. Because wherever you go in terms of human ambition, you're gonna cause this collateral damage. You're gonna force the picking of the small straw. You're gonna force the Russian roulette and the bullet in somebody's fucking head. And you really don't have a right to play the game. It's too stupid a game. Again, it's a fucking stupid game. It's for fucking retards. Only play games this stupid. It's a game for animals. It's not even a game for animals. Like I said, that's the whole fucking point here, which I meant to get to in this video, is this whole fucking conversation is in the context that the thing that really needs to be saved is all the sentience still out in that DNA tooth and claw shithole that you don't give a fuck about. And that's another flaw in your intelligence. So when you ask the question, how could that be? I will tell you it's because you're an ignorant old fucking turd. That's how it could be. And that if you had a little bit more intelligence, you'd realize that, oh yes, consciousness comes as this commodity, and it really doesn't matter how smart you are, it just matters about how sensitive you are. But no, that's going to escape your understanding, because you're an egomaniacal, crazy motherfucker, and you're really not going to get that. So anyway, enough of a video. Yeah. It's just strange. I mean, that these people really aren't dealing with the core argument that life is fail. They're not coming up. Again, they're saying we must continue something, or we can't violate this sacred thing, and yet they can't define the sacredness of it. They can't define what exactly, how decisively great it is that it's always okay to force that short straw into that loser's hand. Because it's just such a good trip. It's just it's a worthwhile adventure. It's great adventure they're going to. Yeah, that's it. And the fact that the one guy is going to die, well, too fucking bad, because it's great adventure. Yeah. Fuck. Dummies. You is dumb. That's all. That's the answer to all. You know, any question you ask, I think the answer is always going to be because you're fucking too fucking stupid to figure out the obvious. Yeah, I think that's the problem. You're dumb.